Hello and welcome to yet another Des Moines game. It's been quite a few since I recently started playing the ship quite a lot again, and they often result in quite good games, since it is a really nice ship. Here I'm in a division with Neil in the Worcester and Sol in the Stalingrad. We're on Northern Lights, and we see a mix between mainly tier 10s and tier 8s, with 4 battleships, 4 cruisers and 4 destroyers. The enemy team actually has all 4 as battle cruisers and 3 Salems. Funnily enough, only 2 of them are actually in a division. We also see that our destroyers, we have 2 that are mainly good for capping and 2 that are more staying a bit further behind and using the guns. The enemy team on the hand has 4 destroyers good for capping, so they will have a slight advantage there. Early on, I moved to this small island just in front of me. I find that to be a fairly good position to sometimes be able to shoot from behind cover, not being seen, or if I am seen, I can easily reverse and break the line of sight and therefore avoid any damage. That is also especially true with the legendary, since I can reverse out very quickly. It does also allow me to cover the decap with my radar. And as we'll see later, in case someone tries to go north through sea, I will be able to radar them as well. Salt stays a bit further behind with the Stalingrad, and Neil goes to the east of the islands, on the east side. Enemy destroyers enter D, I pop my radar, and we can start fire at them and force them out of the cap. Not the best salvos in the beginning, but we are forcing out the destroyers, which was the main goal of this. One of the Salems did spot me, and once the destroyers are out of my radar range, I can switch to him instead. Just south of the island I'm sitting at, we have Harugumo that is helping me with the destroyers as they are detected in the cap. Over at sea, we are losing that cap. There is a Gatland inside capping it, and our Shimakase is not heading in there. And then over at AB, it looks like both teams are a bit standoffish right now. Neil has pushed down far enough to use his radar as well, and we can once again detect the destroyers inside and force them out. While we don't actually manage to kill the lightning, we do enough damage to make him really consider pushing in again. And any fight he ends up with, he will have a huge disadvantage in, so at least we know that he is crippled. Switch back to the Salem for a bit, but the smoke and island breaks line of sight. The enemy Jutland in sea finally cap it, and our Shimakase is still hovering around the other side of the island. I'm currently waiting for the next destroyer to pop into D, to radar, or anything else that might attempt to head out in the open and be spotted. Neil and Krekase are pushing a bit south to force the Salem away. And as he starts running, I send out some shells. See if maybe I can get some additional damage. I spot that the Jutland is actually pushing through sea now, as we discussed before. I wait until I'm detected again, and then I pop my radar. And for whatever reason, this Jutland player thinks it's a good idea to, instead of running away from radar, push in towards the radar. Not only towards a Des Moines, but also a Des Moines that is supported by Stalingrad. And of course, smoking doesn't help since, radar. Sure, there were Shimakase and some other ships at the west side as well, but question if he wouldn't have a better chance of surviving over there. And me and Sol can very easily kill him. So a bit of a potato play there. He should be well aware that I was here, and probably Sol had been spotted on some point as well. So a very questionable push. Salems are back, so I switch to the closest one and try some AP. Managed to get a decent hit with the 2 citadels and a couple of pens. Unfortunately, we do lose Neil over at the south edge of the island there. I continue to shoot a bit more on the Salems, as there are no other ships that I can shoot right now, but they are getting quite far away, and I'm moving a fair bit, so not the easiest thing to actually hit them. The enemy team has one more cap than we do, but they have also lost more ships than we have, so we are in the lead. As if the Jutland was not enough, we see another very bright player doing a very well thought out push, with the North Carolina going straight through the D cap, trying to deal with Sol, who is punishing him back for every meter he sails. I finally push far enough to clear some shots from the island, but most of them still hit, so I push a bit further and angle in so that I will not take too much damage. The Confederate ward as North Carolina switches from giving Sol broadside to giving me broadside. Neither option is particularly fun for North Carolina or any ship for that matter, and he melts extremely fast here.
Our team has taken the lead.
Sol is actually left now for C as the third brilliant player with the brilliant push goes towards D. This time it's the Gascon, who thinks that following in his teammates' footsteps is a particularly good idea. Doesn't matter that they've already lost several ships doing this, but hey, it's worth a try. I stay angled and take minimal damage while I continue to pump HE into him. He starts turning and giving me broadside. So I do switch to AP to see if maybe I can get some good damage from that. I think he actually realizes that his plan was not a good off-stroll, so he is turning away and moving to, looks like, go between the islands, where is also a Kirikasa waiting for him. So questionable decisions all around here. Sol is also managed to push through C and is able to now shoot at him. So the Gascon is just about to die. Unfortunately, I don't get a kill, but Sol managed to get it, and our division managed to secure its fifth kill. The enemy team is down to just 3 ships now, and even though we just lost one, we still have a huge advantage. And I can now go into D and cap it. For some reason, I don't really try to bother avoiding the torpedo there and eat the hit from the Kirikasa. Not sure if I actually would have been able to avoid it if I had tried, but nevertheless, bit of a dick move to eat it and get in pink. Last enemy battleships died, and they are now down to only 2 destroyers as I finish capping D.
Our victory is in sight.
Only managed about 161,000 damage, which is okay, but nothing really special. Confederate Award and 2 kills. Could definitely have been more, but Sol at least finished the Gascon in the end there. So right now it's more or less a waiting game, either for the destroyers to be spotted and killed, or for the time to run out, or the points to reach 1000. The first Shima is spotted. He's quite far out, and I don't really see any particularly good chance of hitting him, so I don't really bother to shoot. Instead, I try to close the gap a bit. Enemy lightning kills Armagami, but in return Massachusetts kills him, and it's now only the Shimakaze left. We are taking control of the B cap as well, meaning we will have all 4, and the points will rapidly tick in our favor. Unfortunately, the Shima does not want to fight anymore and will just run away to the corner of the map. bored out of his mind, I guess. Sol takes some time to think about possible vacation maps he would like to, I guess, lower his guilt a bit about sitting aside and playing a game.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
Which obviously makes him cry a little bit every night. So it's a tough life. The Shima is never spotted as the points tick into the 1000 mark and we win the game. And as for the victory screens, 161k damage, decent amount, 2 kills, Confederate Award, and about 6k XP. Roughly 2.6k base XP, 900 more than Sol in Stalingrad, but both of us did quite well here. Neil unfortunately died quite early, but still ends up about mid of the list. Did a fair amount of bit of damage to mainly the Gascon, but also together with Sol we wrecked North Carolina and spread some additional damage on the rest of the ships. Not much fire or fire damage. Most of the game was HE and AP. And not much damage in return either. It was a fairly safe battle, I would say. Some additional XP and commander XP, which is always useful, but nothing really spectacular. So all in all, safe game. We really abused the radars over at the cap, and thanks to some really interesting potatoes, it was a quite clear win. And overall, a solid performance, I think.